Hey guys, it's Elle. Welcome back to my channel. And today we are going to be chatting about all of the books that I read in September. So I am using a new audio system that I'm really excited about. I'm using the Rode Wireless Go audio. Because I'm in my new apartment and I kind of wanted an upgrade with my sound quality, I decided to do Rode, and I'm absolutely loving the quality. So let me know what you guys think about this switch. Before, I was using kind of a microphone that was attached to the camera, and this one attaches and goes into the camera and goes on the person, and I'm just so excited. And yeah, so in September I read 6 books, which was not the greatest amount of books that I wished and wanted to read in September. I'm just trying to ease back into reading physically. And not that I felt slumpy, I just felt incredibly busy this past month, and I was doing a lot of traveling and just a lot was going on in September. So hopefully October will be a little bit more relaxed, and I'm definitely, as the end of the month is nearing, I'm definitely ramping up with what I'm reading. I just am finally getting in a good groove, but September was a little rocky for me. But I have some really amazing books that I read in September that I'm so excited to chat about with you. So let's get right into this video. The first book I read in September was Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. This is her newest release, and I listened to this one on audio, and it was absolutely amazing. This is the second book in her newest series. The first book is Wild Eyes, and I absolutely adored this romance. It was just so good. So our heroine, she is a country singer slash influencer, and she's going to the small town to work with the hero from the first book because he owns like a production company, music production and like writing and stuff. And so the hero and heroine have this hilarious meet cute where she is trying to get a picture of a bear, and it ends up having babies, like cubs, and the hero is like, what are you doing? That is so dangerous, like you're endangering both of our lives. And she's like, well, I'm trying to get content for my followers. And it's just so funny. And the hero is a single dad and has 2 young kids, and she is just constantly around him because he is also working on like the ranch slash property that she is on, staying for the moment. And so she's always interacting with his kids, and they kind of strike up a little bit of a friendship, and it is absolutely adorable. I loved this one so much. I loved her relationship with his kids. I loved their banter. This one was actually pretty emotional because it kind of deals with a lot of emotions with the heroine and just like not feeling good enough all the time. And it was just such a beautiful romance. I just love this one so much. And it's definitely a top read of the year. I just adored this romance. I just love that Elsie Silver can put so many different things in her romances. Like, it has the banter element, it has the easiness, and a relationship that I love. Like, they just fit so perfectly together. And I just loved seeing him take care of her and kind of her finding herself while being at this ranch. And it was just so beautiful. I normally don't love like fame romances. Like, they are not my favorite. I kind of try to steer clear of those. So actually going into this one, I was completely blind, not knowing that she was going to be a person who was famous. But I actually really loved it. And this one is so good. If you have not read it, definitely go pick it up. Then I have Delicate Escape by Catherine Cowles. This is her newest release. I absolutely adore this one. This is a suspensey romance, forced proximity, heroine on the run. So our heroine, she has a very tumultuous past, and she is just terrified of like somebody from her past coming and getting her. And so she moves to the small town Sparrow Falls to get away and restart her life, and she is on the run from her past. And so she, has changed her whole appearance. She is just really trying to find solitude in this town, and so she's working at the local bakery, and it is just like a great job for her because she can kind of be on the down low, but she also befriends like the owner of the bakery. And she's also good friends with the heroine from the first book. And so her brother is the hero, and he is like a carpenter and works in construction. And the heroine ends up getting a really bad leak in her house, and he kind of sees her like house and like is like, oh, this is really bad. And she's like, no, I can, do it myself. Like, she's just terrified of kind of everyone and keeping everyone at a distance because she just is really having a hard time letting people in. And so the hero is like, I will help you, like, we'll work through this together. He's so sweet, so kind, so patient. And so they work through her trauma together, and it is so, so beautiful. It's forced proximity, friends to lovers, slow burn romance. It is so good. And I just love seeing their like friendship blossom into a romance. I have so many scenes that I loved from this romance. Like, they would have dinners on her porch and just like hang out together, and it was just so cute. And so there obviously is suspense with her past coming into the present, and so we see some of that throughout the book, and it is just such a great romance. I love this one. She also has a really hilarious cat. She loves to kind of take care of animals and rehabilitate them, not to the scale of like previous heroines of Catherine Cowles, but she like has a litter of kittens that she's taking care of, and then she has her cat, and so it's kind of like stuff like that. But it was just such a good romance, and I loved seeing Lolly, like the grandmother of this whole family. She's hilarious, and I just love seeing all of the characters, and I cannot wait for Broken Harbor. This was 5 stars, so amazing. Then I have A Beating Heart by Laura Pavlov. I absolutely love this romance. It was so, so good. I gave this one 5 stars. So the heroine is new to town, and she is a doctor, and the hero is a single dad, and his son has a lot of like really bad asthma attacks and just like asthma things going on that he needs to constantly go to the doctor to get checked up on and like figure out a plan for them. And so she is the new doctor to town, and the hero is just like absolutely not, like, she is not going to be the doctor to my son because he is just so protective of his son, which I love, but like he was kind of being a jerk. And I just love seeing her stand up to him. It was really cool to see. And so they start kind of working together because she is, doing a care plan for his son. And they're also neighbors, so they see each other all the time. And it is just such a great romance. It's kind of like hate to love a little bit at first, Grumpy Sunshine, to forming a friendship, and she has a really special relationship with his son that I love seeing. And I just love this small town. I love all of the characters. I love how unique the characters are in this romance. Like, his son is just such a big part of this romance, which I love, and he has a nickname for himself. He calls himself Beefcake. It's like a funny joke in their family and in the friend group, and this is just such a great romance. I love this one, and seeing the hero let her in, and once he finally lets her in, just diving headfirst into a relationship with her and just being so protective and all in with her. I just loved it so, so much. Then I have The Game Changer by Lana Ferguson. This is such a great fake dating hockey romance. So the heroine, she has her own TV show about baking, and the views are just going really downhill. She's not getting as many views as she normally does, and so they need something to spice up her show. And so they pitch that she kind of has like a fake boyfriend, and so she enlists her brother's best friend, who they are on like the same hockey team, to come on the show and bake with her and pretend to be her boyfriend. And it is just so hilarious. It's such a good romance, and she has always kind of had a crush on him for years, but he is older than her, and it's been like, no, like, we can't do that. And they kind of finally start giving in to the feelings that they've had for each other for years and years, and it is so, so good. I love this romance. I love seeing, they had so many cute, like, fake dating aspects of this one. Like, they had to fake date on the show, and then for publicity, like, go out and have dates, and this was also really spicy, and there was a lot of like emotion with the hero because he is coming back to this team. His parents actually own the team, but he has a lot of tension with his family because of something that his dad did, and there's just a lot of tension there, and so he feels a lot of self-doubt coming back to the hockey team, like if the players will even want him back. And there's just so much that they work through as a couple, and I just really adored this one. I love Lana Ferguson. She's quickly becoming a favorite author for me, and this was 5 stars. Absolutely amazing. And then I wanted to finish up the Uptown Girls series by Joanna Shupe. So I read The Devil of Downtown. I always mess up the titles of these, but this one was fantastic. I gave it 4 stars. It was very solid. So the heroine, Justine, she really wants to make a difference in the world. Like, all of the books in the series are about these heroines trying to make a difference in New York City. And so she is kind of enlisting the hero because he owns like all of these game pens, I think, and like casinos and like different things. I'm trying to remember what exactly she did, but she is devoted to tracking down like deadbeat husbands and like finding them, because what is happening in New York City right now, this is during the Gilded Age, is that all of these husbands are leaving their wives and children's high and dry, but obviously the wives don't have the money and the means to take care of their family. So Justine is trying to go and find these men and force them to give money to their wives, or, you know, like support them financially in some way. And so she is enlisting the hero to help her with that, because a lot of the men are at his establishments. And so they kind of start working together, and there's a lot of drama in this one because her sisters are like, he's a really bad guy, and her, you know, parents are like, we don't want you hanging out with this guy. And it was just a really fun romance of them kind of going on this adventure of like trying to find these husbands and then kind of developing feelings for each other. But he is classified as a bad boy, and she's like the good girl, like good rich girl. And I just really enjoyed this one. It was a really solid historical romance. I love this series. It's just so much fun, and I love like the different setting in the Gilded Age in New York City. It's just such a great historical romance series. Definitely check this one out. I loved the first 2 ones in the series. I gave both of them 5 stars. This was a solid 4 stars. Love, love, love this series to death. And the last book I read in September was A False Start by Elsie Silver. This was a Elsie Silver month for me. I just really wanted to finish her backlist, and I absolutely love this one. So the heroine, Nadia, she has a very like tumultuous past because of like she grew up in Russia and just was moved around a lot, and like now she's finally settled and found her brother, and she just has kind of had a rough go at life in her earlier life, and now she's trying to kind of reboot and figure out what she wants to do with the rest of her life. And so she meets the hero, and they kind of have this like chance encounter where they share a kiss, and now it is years later, and she finds out that he is like her brother's best friend, and they end up having to work together because like her brother owns his ranch, and so she is becoming a veterinarian, and so she's also working on the ranch, and the hero is also working on the ranch because he's like helping out her brother. And so there's a lot of like elements of this one that I just loved. Like, there is an age gap. They both have been pining after each other for years, and they finally give in to their feelings for each other, and it is so good. This is definitely very cowboy. Like, they go on horseback riding. They do horseback riding and like equestrian stuff. They're saving like race horses, and it's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this one, but I also loved like the depth to this one because the hero was kind of painted as like the black sheep of this small town. And they both just kind of worked through their trauma together, and I just absolutely love that. And this was spicy. It had the banter elements. It had found family, and just everything I love in a small town romance was packed into this book. It was so good, and I love seeing like the emotionality of both of the characters and just like really trying to figure out what they want in life, and you know, letting go and not feeling guilty about their past anymore. And it's just such a beautiful romance. I really love this one. Give it 5 stars. Absolutely amazing. All right, well, that is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed hearing me chat about all of the romances that I read in September. I read some really amazing romances. All of these I would recommend to you all. Definitely check them out if you haven't yet. And I'm so excited for October, and I want to thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.
never the one to write up a song for just anyone. I was always the one to find myself lost in long conversations, oh, 'cause I've always been told that things will unfold if you